In the dead of night, with the help of a loyal servant, Essie escapes the dungeon. She sneaks through the palace corridors, her every step heavy with the weight of her grief and fear. As AC and the loyal servant, Kofi, made their way through the dark corridors of the palace, they moved swiftly and silently, avoiding detection. "Almost there, my lady," Kofi whispered, leading her to a hidden door. They emerged into the night air, the sounds of the kingdom's celebrations masking their escape. But their freedom was short-lived. "Guard!" Kofi shouted, grabbing Essie's hand. An arrow soared through the darkness, striking Kofi in the chest. He stumbled, releasing Essie's hand. "No! Kofi!" Essie cried, rushing to his side. "With my life, I will protect you," Kofi gasped, his eyes fading. Essie's heart sank. She cradled Kofi's head, tears streaming down her face. "I won't leave you," she vowed, but Kofi's final glance urged her to flee. Essie took a deep breath, shouldering Kofi's sacrifice. She sprinted into the night, pursued by the guards' shouts and arrows. Prince Takyi's face twisted in rage as he received the news of Essie's escape. His eyes blazed with fury, and his voice trembled. "Find her!" he bellowed. "Bring her back to me, dead or alive." He stormed towards the guards' quarters, his sword drawn. "You five," he spat, pointing at the guards on duty that night. "You allowed her to escape. You will pay for your incompetence." With swift, deadly strokes, Prince Takyi struck down the guards one by one. Their cries echoed through the palace corridors as they fell to the ground, lifeless. The remaining guards cowered, trembling with fear. "Let this be a lesson to all of you," Prince Takyi snarled. "Failure will not be tolerated. I won't tolerate any failure on your end." Unbeknownst to Takyi, Essie carried a secret that could destroy him. The bloodline of the true king lived on in her unborn child. Essie, exhausted and clutching her stomach protectively, stumbles through a dense forest. The sky is dark, and faint stars light her path. After several nights of wandering, her clothes are torn, her feet bruised, and her face filled with worry and weariness. With each passing night, Essie's strength waned, yet her resolve held firm. She carried more than her own life now. She carried the hope of a fallen kingdom. Essie emerges into a small remote village. As she collapses from exhaustion at the edge of a field, an elderly woman, Amma, notices her from afar and rushes over. She kneels beside Essie, gently lifting her up. The elderly said, "Come, my child. You're safe now." Amma brings Essie to her small hut. Inside, a warm fire crackles. Amma hands Essie a cup of water, which she drinks gratefully, tears in her eyes. Essie tells Amma, "Thank you. I have no one, nowhere to go," the elderly woman said. "Then you'll stay here. I'll protect you as best I can. This village may be humble, but we take care of our own." In this hidden village, Essie found refuge, her heart warming with the kindness of a stranger. But even here in this distant place, the shadow of Prince Takyi's rule lingered. Months pass, and Essie gives birth to a son, whom she names Kwaku. Essie works hard, and Kwaku grows up strong, yet always curious about the stories his mother tells him of bravery and justice. Amma tells young Kwaku, "Your mother is a special woman, child. She's fought battles you'll one day understand." As Kwaku grows, he begins to notice the heavy presence of Takyi's guards in the village. They come to collect taxes, taking even the little that the villagers have, leaving them poorer and filled with fear. Young Kwaku helps his mother with farm work. They work hard under the watchful eyes of Takyi's soldiers, who roam the village, enforcing the king's harsh rules. Kwaku's eyes fill with anger as he watches the villagers' struggles. As Kwaku grew, so did his understanding of the kingdom's suffering. The boy became a young man, his heart filled with the quiet fire of a secret legacy. Essie and Kwaku are in line handing over food and valuables, and a guard pushes Essie roughly, causing her to stumble. Kwaku angrily shouts at the guard, "Don't touch her like that!" The guard replies, "Oh, this one has a mouth, does he? Careful, boy, or I'll make you wish you kept it shut." Essie told Kwaku, "You must learn to control your anger. Showing strength here could only bring more suffering." Kwaku replies, "I can't stand watching this, mother. These people deserve better than to be treated like animals." Late one night, Essie tells him the truth. Essie solemnly tells Kwaku, "Kwaku, there's something you must know. You were born to lead, not to live in fear of men like these soldiers. Your father? He was a king, a just and noble ruler, taken from this world too soon. Kwaku, shocked, and replies his mother, "A king? My father was the king?" And in that moment, the weight of Kwaku's legacy became clear. The blood of royalty flowed in his veins, a birthright that had been stolen by the uncle who now ruled the land with cruelty. Isi describes the night King Kwaku was killed by his own brother, Prince Takyi, and how she escaped to save his life. Isi, with emotion, tells her son, "I ran to save you, Kwaku. I couldn't let Takyi know of your existence. But now perhaps it is time for you to claim your birthright." With each day, Kwaku's strength grew. He trained to become not just a fighter, but a warrior guided by justice, a leader who could stand up to the tyranny of Takyi. The man hands him a small amulet, a fortified amulet that once belonged the most fearsome warrior years ago, and said to him, "This is to fortify himself and protect from any evil." He tells him to stay strong, courageous, and humble. 3 days later, a royal messenger on horseback shouts to the crowd at the village square, "Hear ye! Hear ye! His Majesty, King Takyi, invites all noblemen and honored guests to a grand banquet at the palace tomorrow night." Kwaku quietly to himself, "So Takyi finally shows himself to the people. This is my chance." He clenches his fists, determination flashing in his eyes. He turns to leave the marketplace, his pace quickening with purpose. Essie asks her son Kwaku, "Are you sure about this? Do you really want to go to the banquet, Kwaku? Facing Takyi in his own palace? It could be dangerous." Kwaku replies, "He's grown arrogant, mother. If I don't take this chance, he'll keep tightening his grip on this kingdom. Our people need hope, and I need to restore our family's honor." With his mother's blessing and the weight of his father's legacy upon him, Kwaku prepared for a night that would determine the fate of the kingdom. Isi nods solemnly, placing a hand on Kwaku's shoulder, her eyes filled with pride and sorrow. Isi tells her son Kwaku, "Then go, my son, fight with honor and make your father proud." Kwaku pulls his cloak over his shoulders, concealing his identity, and steps out into the night, disappearing into the shadows as he heads toward the palace. Laughter and music fill the grand hall, where King Takyi sits on his throne, looking pleased with himself. In a corner of the room, Kwaku enters quietly, blending in with the guests. Under the guise of a guest, Kwaku entered the lion's den, his heart pounding with anticipation. He knew this would be no simple confrontation, but he was ready. He sees the king at the far end of the hall, laughing with his men, oblivious to the storm that is about to unfold. Kwaku whispers to himself, "This ends tonight." King Takyi said tonight, "We celebrate my rule." But what is a kingdom without courage? I will make an offer to any man with the strength or folly to challenge me. Step forward, and if you defeat me, you'll take my throne. But if you lose your life. King Takyi's arrogance had no bounds. Drunk with power and pride, he never expected anyone to accept his reckless invitation. But among the crowd, one man had waited for this moment all his life. Kwaku steps forward, drawing the attention of the entire hall. Kwaku said, "I accept your challenge, King Takyi, but know that I do not come as a stranger. I am Kwaku, son of your late brother, the true heir to this throne." "Ha ha! You must be dreaming. My brother had no child, never did." "You liar! Bold words, boy. But you'll soon see this throne is not for the weak." Takyi descends from the throne, tossing aside his royal robes to reveal a muscular build beneath. He stands opposite Kwaku, ready to fight. King Takyi spitefully tells Kwaku, "Show me what you've got, Prince Kwaku." Ha 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 ha. King Takyi spitefully tells Kwaku, "Show me what you've got, Prince Kwaku." Ha 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 ha. Kwaku shouts, "For my father, and for every innocent life you've crushed under your rule." With each strike, Kwaku fought not just for vengeance, but for the hope of a kingdom in desperate need of justice. Kwaku lands a solid blow, striking Takyi across the chest. Takyi staggers back, fury burning in his eyes. He charges forward recklessly, leaving himself open to Kwaku's swift counterattack. "Your reign of terror ends here, Takyi. You may have taken the throne, but you will never own the spirit of this kingdom." In a moment that would be remembered for generations, Kwaku chose to put justice in the hands of the people, to do with King Takyi what they please. proving himself to be the true heir in both blood and spirit. With the rightful king restored, peace returned to the land. Kwaku ruled with wisdom, his heart guided by the trials he had endured and the love of a mother who had sacrificed everything for him. The people stoned Takyi till he took his last breath. King Kwaku speaks, "My people, today we begin a new chapter, one where all are treated with honor and respect. Together we will rebuild what was lost and forge a brighter future for our kingdom."